Gotham Season 3, Episode 15, How the Riddler Got His Name. I thought this was a pretty good episode. Glad I found out that it even came back on because I didn't realize, for whatever reason, it didn't record on Monday, even though I had other stuff recording. But I saw that this was on Hulu, and I was like, oh, that says it's a new episode, so clearly I hadn't seen it. And it was definitely a fun episode. Going through the insanity of the mid-season finale. Well, I guess it wasn't even the mid-season finale. I can't remember if it was because I know their season's been really odd and off how they've been doing stuff. But either way, the way they ended it, it was pretty crazy. It was like, okay, well, Penguin, of course, I didn't think he was dead anyway. And we find out that Penguin is actually alive by the end of this episode. So I was like, okay, that's kind of what I expected. I didn't expect him to get revealed as being alive so soon after he was, well, considering the break, they probably knew that it would be such a long time. So that's probably why they did it that way, because it's like it's been forever. It's been a super long time. They had a crazy long break, so maybe that's why they decided to reveal it basically, one episode after the next, because they knew that people watching it live would still have that really big wait, like what in the world's going to happen. So it's nice to see that it was still revealed at the end of this episode, although I kind of figured he wasn't actually going to be dead anyway. But it brings up a lot of other questions. He ends up with Ivy. She ended up finding him in the river somehow. She basically brought him back to life and healed him up for the past couple of weeks. She's got some sort of, it seems like it's underground almost, like some sort of underground garden type of deal where she's watering plants and stuff. So I thought that was cool that, Penguin's almost like the character jumping from villain to villain, where it's like he started with Fish Mooney and stuff and he's dealing with the mob, and then he moves on to being like his own villain, and then Riddler comes in, and of course he's dealing with, Tabitha and everything like that. So he's the guy who kind of keeps jumping from villain to villain, and they keep finding some ways to be around him. So I think that's kind of cool that now he's teamed up with Ivy, and we'll see how far they actually take that. I didn't get to see the promo just yet, so I don't know what to expect for the next episode. But I saw some articles where people were saying they might be hinting at some Harley Quinn stuff for Barbara, which wouldn't surprise me because just the way they do her character with her being so crazy, that'll be an interesting way to do it. But enjoyed this episode with Nigma as, full-on Riddler. We got to see an episode like that before, but this was him with the actual name like that. Is literally how he gets to being the supervillain known as the Riddler. He gives himself the name by the end of the episode. And I love what he did. He goes through, it starts off with him asking this guy a riddle, and the guy fails. And so it's like, okay, well, he ends up killing that guy. And then, for whatever reason, I thought it was funny, actually, with him kind of losing his mind talking to Penguin. I'm like, why would he think that Jim Gordon was the guy? And I guess main character status is like, he's the one who will solve all our problems. Like, he'll be the great, opponent because he's the main character. But as soon as that came up, I was like, this needs to be Lucius. Like, he's the only person that's ever answered a riddle. Like, when they were at the police station, and he went in, and he was trying to mess around with him, and Lucius answered the question, and it was like, what? And he didn't know, what was going on there. So I knew it had to be Lucius from the beginning, so I was happy to see that that's how it played out, and it actually was Lucius that kind of got the, focus of this episode going against the main villain. And that was great, because we don't see much of Lucius anyway, and I mentioned that in a ton of previous episodes, where it's like, they're always in the GCPD, but we never see him do anything. Even when they're actually there, he doesn't seem to show up. So it was great that he had such a grand focus in this episode as the one who could solve all these riddles. And I just like the way they did that. Like, even him doubting himself in the first one when he got to the chess tournament, he's like, maybe I was wrong, maybe this isn't what's happening. And then, of course, Ed was like, okay, well, let's just set this off and, let things play out as they should. So I thought it was pretty cool that he got to be the focus going against the main villain. And I think they did a great job, especially with the three riddles at the end, because those were the riddles everybody was failing. And I love the way they went through that. So he gets the first one wrong, and then the second one, the answer is an individual, but he said snowflake. So it's like, those are, the answers are kind of one and the same. They can be qualified as the same viable answer. And so I love the line that Enigma gives after that, because I'm like, that is very much a Riddler sort of thing. Because there's some things where it's like, and sometimes Riddler will have these riddles, but sometimes he'll still cheat and be like, oh, you're not smart enough, but in actuality, you could have figured it out, but he'll cheat and kind of trick you or something. But in this case, he was kind of upfront about it. It was like, no, I don't think you understand the game that we're playing. It's my riddles, so they're my answers. You can't just have an answer that works. It has to be the answer that I would have said. And I thought that was great. I was like, that's a really cool way to do it, because he'll say riddles, like there's one from the first Arkham game where he talks about it's like what crawls on 4 legs and then walks on 2 and then goes back to 3. And it was like, it's like a normal riddle that everybody says, and he's like, well, it could be this person if you chop their legs off, though. And it was like a super dark way to twist up a riddle that everyone knows the answer to. So I thought it was really good that they kind of put that in there, where he's like, you don't get suitable answers, you need to get my answer. So I actually love the way that that played out. And of course, we go through all that craziness, and it turns out that these people were never about to be poisoned. They just got knocked out. There was no antidote, it was just grape juice, but they could have died if Lucius wasn't good enough. So I love the way that that played out. So I really enjoyed what they did with Ed in this episode, and he's happy. By the end, he's actually happy. He's like, I found out how to be the person I know that I am without Penguin. So I thought that was really cool, like his journey, and he's happy now that he is officially the Riddler, and everyone's going after him now. So I don't know how often we'll really get to see him, because, you know, his one place of hiding, of course, was at Penguin's place, and that was before everyone realized that he killed him. So I don't know where he's going to be showing up at, or where he's going into hiding. But it should be exciting to see how they continue his character now that he's seemingly public enemy number one. He kind of killed the mayor, and he killed a boatload of other people. He's like their current, you know, serial killer pretty much. So I am looking forward to how they kind of develop his character now that he's outed himself as the Riddler, and everyone's kind of looking for him. So looking forward to how they develop that, but they did a great job in this one, I felt. We also get little snippets here and there of what you know, our absent Jim Gordon is actually doing, and it's him and his uncle. And his uncle was pretty straightforward. I was happy to see that his uncle was like, yeah, the Court of Owls is this. Your father and I were actually a part of it. They killed your father, but, you know, I had to prove my loyalty, which is why they sent me, you know, out of the country and stuff. And now that I'm sticking with them, I know that they have interest in you. I want to try to bring you. It's almost like a Star Wars thing where it's like, you know, I want you to join the dark side with me. We'll both be evil, seemingly, but then we'll change it from the inside out. And I was like, okay, let's see how this plays out. I don't know. Considering Jim's character in this, it's hard to say if he'll go along with that sort of plan where he pretends to be evil, but he actually destroys it from within, or if he'll just say no, you know, straight out, and then he just has to fight constantly to stay alive. So really interested in his answer, and, you know, just the way he's going to go about trying to take down the Court of Owls. And of course, with the Court of Owls having interest in him, naturally that's just another element to get ahead, because they have a huge leap forward by the end of this episode where they tricked Bruce to go to see Selena with the note, and then I forgot what they called him. I feel like it was 9 or something. It was like a number or a letter, but the clone Bruce Wayne ends up knocking Bruce out, so he takes his place, and they have, you know, they have their little inside plant in order to do whatever they want. And Bruce wakes up, he's like off in the mountains, so he's long gone. I don't know how in the world they're gonna play that, where he wakes up in like the snowy Alps and everything. It's like, all right, well, where the heck is that? You know, how's that gonna play out? Like, who's gonna find him, and how are they gonna find out where he is? So looking forward to some extra answers in these next couple of episodes. I don't know how many episodes we have in the season, but I would assume we only have maybe 6, you know, because we're, you know, hitting 20s. So I would say we only have like 6 or so left, if that, really, because that would end us at about 25 episodes. So I don't really know. I don't really know exactly where we're headed, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think this was a good episode to come back on. Really love seeing how they do the Riddler in this series, so I really enjoyed this episode with his riddles and just how he kills people or doesn't kill people at the end. And it's just like, you know, I just want to play the game, and whoever can do it makes me happy. Whoever can't, they have to go, because I need someone to truly challenge me so I know how to be myself, or I need to know how to be the person that I couldn't, but I always knew I wanted to be. So I like the way they did it by the end of this episode. Nice little cliffhanger, of course, with Penguin coming back and, of course, being naturally pissed. So that's an extra little bit of him kind of just pushing the GCPD and everybody else to go kind of kill Ed, and we just have to see how that plays out. But that was a fun episode to come back to, of course. Would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, with this being a Riddler focused episode, I would love to know how you guys felt about the way they handled this character, kind of the stuff with the rules and how he kind of made up his own rules. It's like, you can't just have an answer that works. It has to be my very specific answer. It can't be a viable answer. And the way he kind of, you know, he kills people in the beginning, but at the end it's all kind of just a big game, because he has who he believes is the good opponent, and it's like, well, I don't need to kill people. at this point I'm just playing the game. So I would love to know how you guys felt about the way they handled this character. And of course I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.